Well, hello there. Hello. John here, or Checky, or whatever you want to call me. Welcome guys, welcome to a new reaction video. Today we are reacting to, again, the Roman Empire. So yeah, the five worst emperors of the medieval Roman Empire. So the Roman Empire that survived in the East. Obviously, this is made 2 years ago when the concept of the Byzantine Empire was very widespread, and the people didn't know that much about the Byzantine Empire, and you know that they were the Roman Empire themselves. So yeah, I mean, even today there's still people like that. So yeah. Anyways. Today we're gonna react to this video. My friend recommended it to me. It's 2 years ago, and it's by channel of almost 500 subscribers, captivating history. So yeah, but first, hold on, let me
Why do we
see.
have to learn?
Okay, hold on. 5 years. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time. So let's see. But don't tell me they're doing AI or something. I mean, that's AI art. Hold on.
They say a face can launch a
I mean, maybe it's not the AI, but like they got 500 subscribers and that's their average viewership. Damn, they fell off. Well, anyways, I'm not gonna criticize their channel and their performance.
the
So,
Byzantine Empire.
um, yeah, let's do this. Okay, preemptive like, and yeah,
Byzantine Empire
damn.
lasted over 1,100.
Okay. So I'm not gonna nitpick. I'm gonna let them call them Byzantine Empire, but we already know what empire that we're talking about here. So yeah,
Years, making it the
what? I think it was like not that. I mean, if you count the founding of Constantinople as the founding of the Byzantine Empire, sure.
only Western empire stretching from the ancient period to the early modern era. And if you thought cancel culture was a recent thing, wait till you meet Constantine V.
What?
The Byzantine Empire was a time of opulence,
Okay.
change, and a longing for tradition. They began as the eastern half of the Roman Empire, but when the West fell to the Goths, the Byzantine Empire suddenly found itself alone as the rest of Europe descended into the Dark Ages.
Not really the Dark Ages, but sure. I mean, the Western Europe call it Dark Ages. Eastern Europe, not so much. But yeah. Also, it's really captivating to think about that the best Roman emperors are on the eastern side, as well as the worst Roman emperors are still on the eastern side. That's really captivating to think, because you'd think that the worst or the best Roman emperors would be during the prime united Roman Empire, but to me, it's on the eastern side. No hate to the ancient Roman Empire or to the Western Roman Empire. I'm just stating facts here.
This empire helped carry many Roman traditions into the modern era and blended Christianity with their secular philosophy.
Mm.
They created great legal codes and beautiful artwork, but the
Yep.
Byzantine Empire also had a dark side. Not
I mean, like every empire has a dark side, but yeah.
all the emperors were as inspiring as Constantine or Justinian. In fact, some were awful and ended up hurting the empire.
I mean, you could argue that the Justinian and Constantine weren't perfect either. But I get what you mean. Like during the contemporary times, they looked up to Justinian or Constantine every time. So I get what you're saying. But to call them that they were better, I mean, yeah, they were better at some aspects, but that doesn't mean they're generally better than some other emperors.
Here are
But
five
yeah,
of the
okay.
worst emperors who ruled the Byzantine Empire. Number 1. Constantine V.
Wait, is it ranking from best of the worst or the worst of the worst? So if you're saying like Constantine V is the worst, is the best at being no, is the worst at being the worst. Well, my head it exploded, guys. How is Constantine the fifth on the list? Okay. I have like a video. I saw a video. I forgot which channel, but I want to check that video out about Constantine the fifth at some point. So we will go on this topic. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know that much about Constantine the fifth. I just know that he imposed iconoclasm. He was the son of Leo the third. Was the father of Leo the fourth, and he won many victories against the Arabs. That's all I know. Maybe he did something very cruel, and maybe that's why. I mean, It couldn't be worse than Alexis the Fourth, right? It couldn't have been worse than Alexis the Fourth or Commodus. Like, let's be
One of the
serious.
first internal conflicts that threatened to tear the Byzantine Empire apart was
Okay, I would say how about this? I would say that it's ranking from like the low to the highest. So like the number five is going to be like the worst of the worst. That's what I'm guessing. Okay.
iconoclasm,
Yeah.
which was the destruction of all Christian images.
Yep.
The people decorated their churches with beautiful artwork,
Mm-hmm.
including paintings of people like the Virgin Mary and
Yep.
Jesus.
Yep.
These images were meant to help the people focus their devotion. After the Islamic forces inflicted devastation on the empire, the
Yep.
people wondered why God had punished them. Emperor Leo
Yeah.
III decided
And those people, you know who were those people? The Anatolian people, especially on the eastern side, where the Paulician communities were like very much present there. And the Paulician took a lot of inspiration from the Muslims as well as you know, if you're at the border of another religion or another state with another religion, you are bound to get influences by that religion as well. So yeah, that's why there was not as much persecution. I mean, not as much persecution. It wasn't. There was not like as much favoritism for iconoclasm in the West, especially on the Italian provinces, basically. And yeah,
that God was punishing the empire for idolatry. He ordered
mm.
the destruction of all religious icons, starting
I mean, Leo was kind of not saying he was in his right mind, not saying he was like right about iconoclasm, about like destroying icons, but during his perspective, I get it. You know, I get it. Like during my religious journey, I also questioned the fact: why do we pray to images? Why do we pray to statues of Jesus? Like, why don't we just pray to his spirit or something? But then I read more. I got more educated. Maybe Leo the Third wasn't as educated. I mean, he was um, from a poor town, originated from Germanica, but still, I mean, he also got influences from Islam, so yeah. But still, I mean, it wasn't that great of a movement to start, honestly,
the
at that point in time.
iconoclasm movement that disrupted the realm for many years. It even led to conflict between the Western and Byzantine churches.
I mean, the same church, but okay. If you're saying conflict between the Pope and the Patriarchates, then yeah, okay.
Although Emperor Leo III had caused division, his son was even worse.
Yeah, I did hear. I haven't read, honestly. I must say this. I haven't read or like looked at or heard about Constantine. You know, atrocities, quote unquote, or like his actions. But that I did hear somewhere that he imposed more iconoclasm, and because of that, the Pope got independence or something around 750s or something.
Emperor Constantine V took the throne in
That's not Constantine the Fifth. I'm pretty sure that's not Constantine the Fifth guy.
741 CE. Although he was a deft military commander, his policies surrounding iconoclasm threatened to destroy the Byzantine Empire and
Mm.
widened the gap between the Byzantine Church and the Western Church.
I mean,
Constantine
yes,
V was
yes.
even more aggressive in eradicating icons than his father. He was soon attacking patriarchs and monks.
I mean,
He forced the Byzantine Church to
that's in his later years. I'm pretty sure. That's what I heard it from. Like, I read an article that was like around the 750s, around there. It's not around 70. I would say 760s. I would say, yeah, around 760s.
support his strong views against icons by only letting fellow iconoclasts share their opinion in a large council.
I didn't
Once
know
the
that.
group announced that icons and relics were idolatry,
Mm.
Constantine V continued destroying traditional art and historical artifacts. He humiliated anyone who dared stand in his way.
Okay, so the what we're saying, because he destroyed historical artifacts and images of you know of like icons, destroying icons, and persecuting monks, that makes him a bad emperor. Sorry for laughing, but like, if that's one of the reasons, that's ironic, considering how Diocletian, how Vespasian, how like many great quote unquote emperors, even Constantine, like treated the populace and destroyed a lot of like stuff. Heck, even during the reign of Theodosius the First, during the reign of Justinian, he literally closed the academy of Athens, which was the last one of the last ancient academies open. Like he persecuted Hellenes, like he destroyed a lot of ancient artifacts himself. Like where do we go from here? That's pretty normal at that time. Like like if you judge from a modern perspective, sure, but from a contemporary perspective, that was pretty normal actually for an emperor after he took a decision.
Appropriated the strongest monasteries for his military, which involved throwing out the nuns and monks who lived there. Constantine continued to enrage people both inside and outside the empire. Soon, the people forgot his other achievements and only remembered Constantine V as the hated emperor who had destroyed their religious art, forcibly
Yeah, but that's mainly in the western side of the actually in the western side of Europe. In the eastern side, people really commended and applaud Constantine V for his victories. Like sure, they were kind of questionable acts of his religious activities, but in terms of military skill and defending the empire, he was pretty successful. Like pretty sure Leo V tried to emulate Leo III and had his son Symbatius take the name Constantinus and try to emulate the Isaurian dynasty, which is the dynasty of Constantine V. So that's like contemporaries and later contemporaries really admired. Only later modern scholarly what you call it historians disapproved with him and vilified him.
changing how the people were allowed to worship. Number 2. Empress Irene. After Constantine
I
died
mean, sure, you could say she's in the list, but I'll put her at the bottom of the list.
in 775 CE, his son, Leo IV, came to the throne, but he died in 780 CE, shortly after taking the throne. Leo's son, Constantine VI, was not old enough to rule, so
Yep,
his mother stepped in as the empress.
as a regent.
Although Empress Irene was renowned for her beauty, she quickly proved herself to be power-hungry and one of the
Hmm.
worst emperors of the Byzantine Empire.
Um, yeah, but that happened after she dethroned her son, after she became a reigning emperor herself.
However, Irene was not wholly evil. She did work to end the first period of iconoclasm.
That's the only good thing she did, but either sooner or later, the first iconoclasm would have ended thanks to a new emperor. Even Nicephorus would have ended, most likely.
She moved iconoclasts out of powerful governmental and military positions and then called together many of the patriarchs. Together, they finally denounced iconoclasm,
Hmm.
restoring the practice of decorating church buildings with art as long as the people agreed not to worship the images. After accomplishing her
Hmm.
main goal, Irene turned her attention to maintaining her political power. She technically should have only ruled for 6 years, but when Constantine VI turned 16, she
Hmm.
did not give up the throne. Irene was not content to lead from the shadows, but some people grew uncomfortable with her insistence on her own power. She
Hmm.
even executed some of her generals for disagreeing with her right to rule, and she placed
I mean, if you are like, if you're like Justinian and you didn't have anyone like, bro, you think Theodora wouldn't have done the same thing? The wife of Justinian, honestly, at this point, like Theodora would have killed Belisarius the first moment she got the chance to do so. It was only because of Justinian that she didn't kill him. And Justinian most likely would have killed, a lot of other generals as well for disobeying orders, like John. Like that's stupid.
her son in prison so that he would not threaten her power. The soldiers rebelled and insisted that Constantine VI take the throne. However, he quickly proved himself weak and unambitious, displeasing the people.
No, she was ambitious. She just was too weak to rule. Like he was ambitious. She just had a weak body and he was inexperienced. Honestly, like he didn't have any anyone to like rely on and teach him how to be a ruler.
people. Irene spent some time under house arrest, but was not gone from the political scene.
I'm
By
pretty sure she was co-emperor together with her son Constantine VI.
797 CE, she had regained enough power to order Constantine VI to be blinded and executed after his infant son died. Although
Damn.
this heartless act should have secured her position as empress, it did not stabilize the empire or significantly extend her time on the throne, partially because of politics with Western Europe. On Christmas Day 800 CE,
Yep.
Pope Leo III crowned Charlemagne Holy Roman Emperor, sending shockwaves across Europe and the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire believed they were the Roman Empire's legacy. They took great pride in
'Cause they
preserving
were.
Roman customs, laws, and philosophy. The Byzantine aristocracy revolted when Charlemagne offered to marry Irene and unite their empires. They banished Empress Irene from the realm and chose a new emperor, finally ending her reign.
Damn.
Although it started by ending iconoclasm, it did not have the healing effects the empire desperately needed.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for her involvement in conquering Hellas, proper Greece, from the Slavs that occupied that region for like, I don't know, 200 years at that point, maybe, then yeah, I would say she was one of the worst, but she wasn't one of the worst emperors. Like, there's a bunch of other emperors who were worse than her, lol.
Instead, Irene used the imperial throne to solidify her power instead of focusing on helping the people
Bro, every emperor does that.
recover from the chaos and destruction iconoclasm had left behind.
Okay, so
Number 3. Nicephorus.
no way, bro. No way. Okay, Nikephoros. In terms of like ruling ability, she was average. Okay, she was average. She wasn't bad emperor in terms of administrative because he was a logothete, which meant he was like a statesman. I'm pretty sure whatever it means logothete. So his economical policies was pretty good. His diplomatical policies were also pretty good, handling the Frankish quote unquote threat. Like, the emperor at that point was not ready to go to war with the French Empire at that point because the Franks would have kicked the bucket and destroyed them. So, I think that Nicephorus, during his reign, during his like 9-year reign or like 10-year reign, whatever it was, 9-year reign maybe. During his 9-year reign, he was pretty decent, honestly. Not bad, not good emperor. And he just fell victim to the Bulgar Khan because the Bulgar Khan was one of the greatest military commanders of his time. That's why he lost.
Thankfully, the Byzantine Empire had time to recover from Emperor Constantine V and Empress Irene. It again expanded and soon had a new dynasty, the House of Macedon.
Wait.
However, when Emperor Romanus II
Okay, I'm sorry. What? Wait, we're talking about the Senate Foros or okay, one. You have to mention the name because there's 3 Nikephoros. There's 3 emperors who ruled with the name Nikephoros. Nikephoros the first, Nikephoros the second, which you're talking about right now, I'm presuming, and Nikephoros the third. So first, list the number of Nikephoros. Okay, 1, 2. You're telling me that during the Roman Golden Age, during the Romans, medieval Roman Second Golden Age, during the Macedonian Dynasty, Nikephoros, one of the best soldier emperors, is the one of the worst emperors. Okay, fine. I'm gonna hear you out. And then I'm gonna tell you why you think you're right, and I think what am I saying? My head exploded. Dude, listen. You're wrong.
died in a hunting accident, his wife, Teophano, was in a difficult situation.
Okay.
Her son was too young, but unlike Irene, Teophano did not want to take the throne herself.
Yeah,
Instead, she
yeah.
called on Nicephorus Phocas to protect her and her son because he was the best general the Byzantine Empire had seen in many years.
Yeah.
The patriarch crowned him emperor by popular demand, and he soon married Teophano, despite being at least 30 years older than her. Nicephorus was a celebrated general, especially in his campaign against the Islamic forces.
Yep.
However, he was different than other recent emperors, which turned public favor against him.
Reset in terms of what? terms of administration and diplomacy. Diplomacy, I'm pretty sure Nicephorus wasn't that good in terms of diplomatic skills. Administration was iffy, below decent, I would say, like around average, but his military accomplishments like fill the missing spots in those other slots, basically, if you know what I mean. Like, thanks to his military accomplishments, he reversed the conquest of Cyprus and Crete, I'm pretty sure. So he got Cyprus, Crete, and got lands beyond Taurus Mountains, basically, and established more themes beyond Anatolia proper.
As a military man, he gave orders but was also rude, especially if someone aggravated him, and he had a short temper.
Okay, I don't know much about the personal life and the personality of Nicephorus, I'm gonna admit that, but I haven't never heard of that. So he may be right. But if you're like a jerk, that doesn't mean you're the worst emperor, right?
His lack of political tact caused several international incidents. He almost started a war with the Germanic tribes by locking Emperor Otto I.
Germanic tribes, what the heck? I'm pretty sure the Romans didn't call the Holy Roman Empire the Germanic tribes. Maybe the Kingdom of Germans or something. But the Germanic tribes? That's the first time I'm hearing it, but okay.
in the dungeon for accidentally calling Nicephorus the king of the Greeks instead of the Byzantine emperor.
That makes him a bad emperor because why? Huh? 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 Okay, he was a bad ruler to the Western side, but we're talking about subjectively to the Roman side, to the Roman polity, to how the people viewed him. I'm pretty sure they viewed him with popularity. Only towards his end, thanks to his taxations, he got unpopular. But calling him a bad emperor because he rightfully arrested someone for addressing a royalty by a different kind of title, that's stupid.
Nicephorus also believed the church was corrupt. It possessed great land and wealth and
I mean, it was corrupt.
did not pay taxes, both of which Nicephorus thought unacceptable.
Yeah.
He spent his reign trying to end church power and corruption by not allowing people to donate land to the church. By the end of his reign, the people no longer focused on his great military exploits. Instead, they were angry about the growing taxes,
Yeah.
and the church refused to work with him. There were even rumors that Nicephorus's brother had attempted to kill the legitimate princes, for whom Nicephorus was only supposed to be a regent. Yet the emperor did nothing to either disprove the rumors or punish his brother. Almost everyone hated Emperor Nicephorus, including his young wife, Theophano.
And you know what's funny? I don't know about Theophana, but the most of the sources we got on Nikephoros was from his successor, Ioannis Zemistis. Ioannis Zemistis obviously usurped Nikephoros. So obviously he would vilify Nikephoros, obviously. Same thing with Heraclius and Phocas. The reason why Phocas gets so much hate is because Phocas, even though he usurped Maurice, he also got usurped by Heraclius, who in the end didn't get usurped and established his own dynasty, which that dynasty vilified him, so they could assert their own legitimacy. It's simple.
She took John Tzimiskes, another rising general and Nicephorus's nephew, as her new lover, and they organized the murder of Nicephorus together. Although he did help strengthen the Byzantine emperor militarily, Emperor Nicephorus was highly unpopular with the people, and his domestic policies and lack of political tact made him one of the worst emperors who ruled the Byzantine Empire.
That's stupid. What about Commodus? Okay, sure, we're not talking about the Byzantine Empire right now. But fine. I'm gonna give. Okay, there's Alexis comments. I don't know which one Alexis comments with that. I hope you mean Alexis the second. I just hope you mean Alexios the second, not Alexios the first, because I'm gonna kill you. But no. Andronicus the second was way worse than Nikephoros the second. We have to agree on that. Ioannis the sixth Cantacuzenos was way worse than this guy, because based on based on his logic, the military campaign, the military skill doesn't matter. It just matters the administration and diplomacy. Okay, fine. What about John the Sixth Cantacuzenus? He was a terrible diplomat, a terrible administrator, and led the Ottomans in Europe because of his freaking two civil wars, or whatever they were, basically. Because of his civil wars, the Roman Empire fell, basically, and they lost Anatolia altogether, basically. And they got the Ottomans have a foothold in Europe, basically. How many times am I gonna say basically? But you know what I mean, basically. Andronicus II literally disbanded the navy. He was the reigning emperor during the loss of much of Anatolia, and he had another civil war with his grandson because he kept living so long that he kept, destroying the empire. So his grandson tried to save it by revolting, and he didn't want to give up. And yeah, so you're saying this guy is worse than those two? Unless those two are like after Alexis. But no, there's like two more choices. What the heck is happening, bro?
Number 4. Alexius Comnenus.
Okay,
After
please.
the House of Macedon dynasty faded into history, the Byzantine Empire went through a time of instability. A series of weak rulers damaged the economy and military.
Okay, those weak rulers, why aren't they on the list? Where is Michael the Seventh? Where is Nicephorus the Third? Where is Constantine the Tenth? Where? Where? Where is Michael the Fifth? Where is Michael the Sixth? Where? Where? Bro, where is Romanus the Third?
This time also saw the Great Schism of 1054, when the Catholic and Eastern Orthodox churches finally split.
Okay, that's a bad thing, right? Why don't you put Constantine the Ninth Monomachos here then? Why? Why?
The tensions between the two groups have been growing for centuries. However, the official split had repercussions that we are still dealing with today. Alexius Comnenus stepped into all this chaos. His family had always competed with the Macedonian family.
So it's about Alexis the First. One. Two. I hate you. Okay, I'm not hating you for real, but like, what are you doing? I know this is like 2 years ago, but dude, do some research, do some proper research. From where did you get is this a rage bait video? Bro, I'm gonna beat the hell out of my friend who sent me this video, bro. This is a rage bait video, dude. Alexius the First, Komnenos.
But Alexius's reign had problems from the start.
Wait,
He always competed with the Macedonian family.
the Komnenos competed with the Macedonian family. Oh man, hold on, I'm just gonna bring up a person. Isaac the First. Hold on. This guy, okay, hold on. The son, okay, hold on. What the heck? Okay, so the son of the general Manuel Eroticus Comnenus. He was orphaned at an early age and was raised under the care of Emperor Basil II of the Macedonian dynasty. Basil II is of the Macedonian dynasty and one of the last rulers. Okay. This guy, Isaac the First Comnenus, is of the Comnenian dynasty, the first ruler of the Comnenian dynasty, and the uncle of Alexius the First, basically. So basically, what I'm saying is that the Comnenian dynasty had no quarrels with the Macedonian one. Maybe they had quarrels with the other dynasties, like the Ducas, the Diogenes, but no, not the Macedonian one.
But Alexius's reign had problems from the start. He overthrew his predecessor in 1081, and the mercenaries he hired to help him looted Constantinople at once.
What?
The event didn't.
What? Wait. What? Hold on. Alexios the First. I wanna check this. Komnenos. Okay, hold on. Okay, we have it here. Okay, we have it here. Okay, we have it here. So, let me see. So, where does it say? What does it say about the looting? Okay. Okay, so I read all of the Wikipedia page. Maybe there isn't anyone here. I don't know where they got the source from here that it was like looted. Constantinople was looted by the mercenaries he hired, but I didn't like. I already read this for like a few times. I already read a few books by Anna Komnene, but I never heard of this. I don't know where
Not
they got
winning
this
many
from.
favors with the people. Then the Normans arrived, landing uncomfortably close to the capital.
Yeah,
Alexius
so this was during the first years of his reign. I'm pretty sure there was no looting of Constantinople around that time. I'm pretty sure.
decided to march his army against the Normans, but his army consisted of the Varangian Guard and mercenaries, some of whom were Turkish and betrayed the Byzantines.
Yeah, but not all of the most of his army. Okay, most of his army was composed of mercenaries, but a good portion of it was also composed of native um, Roman troops, basically. Of course, the Varangian Guard having grown for quite a while ever since its establishment by Basil II. So yeah, but the Empire couldn't afford to get more native soldiers because all of Anatolia was gone. The main manpower supply was gone. Obviously, he had to rely on something else. You cannot blame the fault of a previous emperor on the current one. That's stupid.
The Normans beat the military soundly, reducing Alexius's power even further.
Not really. By the end of it, thanks to Alexius' diplomacy, he made the Holy Roman Emperor attack the Normans, I'm pretty sure. And that's how the Normans fled from Greece all the way to Naples to defend, basically. So you also have to take in consideration that later, Alexius also was a great administrator, but during his first years of reign, he was a great diplomat, especially initiating the First Crusade.
Thankfully, Alexius wasn't wholly incompetent.
Was incompetent at all. What the heck are you saying?
When the Normans returned, he decided not to risk the few soldiers he had left and instead tried diplomacy. He used
Yep,
his relations with the Germans and the Venetians to cut off Norman supplies,
and made them attack the Norman heartland.
eventually forcing them to leave. It appeared that Alexius had finally found a way to protect the Byzantine Empire and give it a time to recover. However, there were other threats, and the other significant
Yep.
threat during his reign came
Before the Seljuks was the Pechenegs. The Pechenegs basically invaded, and he quite struggled, but he managed to fight them off.
from the Seljuk Turks. Alexius knew he would need help again to defend his empire against the Turks, so he reached out to Pope Urban.
No, the Turks weren't in a position to attack Constantinople or even the Balkan provinces. He still had some outposts and some lands in Anatolia, barely, but he still had it. He wanted to attack and reconquer the Anatolian heartland.
In 1095, asking for Christian soldiers to help drive back the threat.
Yeah,
In response, the Pope announced the First Crusade. This did not work out well for Alexius and was the beginning of several years of problems. Many knights and peasants responded to the Pope's call, but refused to listen to Alexius.
I mean, yeah, but there's also many knights who did listen.
For a while, it seemed like they were more of a threat to Constantinople than the Turks. Despite the
That's only like hyperbole. That didn't really happen,
issues
honestly.
around the First Crusade, it was one of the more successful ones.
It was the successful one of. I think it was the only one who was successful.
The Crusaders did manage to take Jerusalem for a short time in 1099,
And the Romans also took like the coast of Anatolia, north and south.
but the knights refused to give the conquered land to Alexius.
I mean, obviously, because those lands were not previously owned by the Romans. Okay, okay, okay. It was during the Sicilian, okay, the Sicilian lands that they didn't want to, not Jerusalem. Okay, let's not confuse them. Let's not confuse them.
Instead, they set up small kingdoms for themselves, increasing hostility between the Byzantine Empire and Western Europe. Alexius wanted to protect his empire and give it time to recover, but his choices did not help in the long run. The army was depleted, and Alexius
Obviously, it was depleted for like constant
Alexius
warfare.
accidentally started the Crusades, a series of religious wars that would end up hurting the Byzantine Empire more than Alexius Comnenus had ever imagined.
Okay, how is that his fault? How would he have predicted the Fourth Crusade? Okay, how?
Number 5. Alexius
Okay, I completely disagree. I think this video is pretty bullshit. I'm gonna retract my like. And I'm going to dislike this video. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but this is my opinion.
IV. The Comnenus family continued to stir up chaos in the Byzantine Empire, mainly because many of their rulers were ineffective. They soon
This is the only thing I agree with. Alexius IV is definitely the worst Roman emperor. The worst Roman emperor. Both West, East united. The worst Roman emperor. Terma, how the Greeks say it. The Greeks say it, terma, finished.
gave way to the Angelus family, but that family was even less effective. Isaac II Angelus came to the throne in 1185, quickly proving that he did not know how to run an empire. While Western Europe called another crusade to take back Jerusalem from the Muslim forces, Isaac weakened the Byzantine position by dismissing the imperial navy, visiting the German ambassadors. Finally, his brother Alexius III saw his chance. He overthrew his brother and locked Isaac and his son in prison, claiming the throne for himself.
And he also blinded
Alexius
Isaac.
III was only interested in the throne for its wealth and power, and he soon attracted a few enemies who thought Isaac's son might be a better ruler.
Alexius III is the second worst ruler of the Roman Empire, by the way.
When the Fourth Crusade arrived at Zara, they found Alexius IV waiting for them. He offered them large amounts of money if they came to help him reclaim the throne from his uncle. The Crusaders were already sidetracked when they went to Zara, so many decided that one more excursion couldn't hurt. They marched to Constantinople and surrounded the city, causing Alexius III to flee. It seemed they had been victorious. However, Alexius III had spread rumors and lies about Alexius IV and his father, creating distrust and making them very unpopular with the people.
Bruh.
Additionally, Alexius IV did not have money to give the Crusaders for their help, which angered them. They changed tactics and instead sacked Constantinople, looting tombs, churches, and anything else they could find. It was the first time Constantinople had ever failed to defend itself, and the empire would never be the same again. In his bid for power, Alexius IV became one of the worst Byzantine emperors
The worst.
because his actions led to the first sack of Constantinople, weakening the empire and leaving it vulnerable to destruction. How would you like to get a deeper understanding of history?
Oh,
Impress your friends.
now you're gonna like oh man, you're gonna try to sell us
And
with
predict the
this
future more
product.
accurately based on past events. If this sounds like something you might be into, then check out the brand new Captivating History Book Club by clicking the
Let me guess, in this captivating history book club, you all are brain dead. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to insult the people. Okay, I'm insulting the argument. This video is
first
not
link in the
good.
description. To learn more about the Byzantine Empire, check out our book, The Byzantine Empire, a captivating guide to Byzantium and how the Eastern Roman Empire was ruled by emperors such as Constantine the Great and Justinian.
I don't recommend the book. Based on this video, I'm not recommending
It's
the book,
available
guys.
as an ebook, paperback, and audiobook. If you enjoyed the video,
Yeah, okay, shut up. Okay, now I understand why there's so little views and so little likes. What the heck? Okay, let's read the comments. Alexis Komnenos, one of the worst emperors. Oh my, how did you get your conclusion? If not for Alexis, the Eastern Roman Emperor, aka Byzantine Empire, would have collapsed in the late 11th century. True. Who did the research for this episode? Exactly my question. Some of the last remaining competent emperors called the worst. Exactly my point. I think this is a bit of like rage baiting, a bit of like ignorance, and a bit of like propaganda. Honestly, at this point, this is okay. I hate this so much, bro. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I'm gonna leave. Sure, I'm gonna leave the video in the description box. I'm not gonna pin the comment, the video. Sorry, my guys. Sorry, I'm not doing this. This guy doesn't deserve it. Anyways, hope you guys liked it. I certainly did. And yeah, I can't wait. I wish you guys happy January month. And I'll see you guys next time, though. Can't wait for next video. It's going to be a Chingu Generals video, so stay tuned. Anyways, see you later. Bye bye.